So first of all, I've got to do some tidying up. This place is a mess. But I've got a really exciting day today because today I am going to work on my new violin. So I've varnished my new violin. I've got a couple of clients, but I managed to get them together pretty close. So I've got a lot of time to just spend working in the workshop. I've got a big cello repair that I'm working on. I'm really at the tail end of that repair. And then I've got some of the usual sort of clean and polish kind of repairs to do, like the maintenance repairs that always come in. Anyway, better get into it. There's one thing I have to do first, and that is just take a moment of meditative time, maybe give a bit of thanks and set my intention for the day. So I just take a moment and think how I can serve my community, and I take a moment to think how grateful I am for all of you and for all these amazing players that make beautiful music in the world and that love to express themselves through the stringed instrument. Wow. Alright, first job, get a sound post inside this beginner instrument. My kids are heading off to school. Okay, let's have a quick try. I'm happy with that. Now, I'm going to work on my violin. I've got to do a bit of varnish work on the scroll before I drill the holes in for the pegs. Okay, I'm going to let this dry. I've got to work on this viola next, so there's a bit of varnish work to do. This instrument had about 3 old cracks that had been badly repaired, so they just glued them from the outside, but they weren't properly glued and they weren't properly together, so I'm just sorting those out. So the other day a client rang me and he's got an old instrument, like a German instrument, beautiful violin, but it had a big repair. It's got like about, I think it's almost got 9 cracks to restore. So it's quite a big repair. And so we did the usual, you know, how much will the instrument be worth when it's finished? How much is the repair going to cost? Is it worth it? And, you know, and we got to all that. And he said, yeah, I'm pretty happy with this, but I have one more question. And then he asked me, are you going to have fun doing this repair? And I was like, I just went silent for a moment, because in my 35 years as a violin maker, nobody has ever asked me that question before. And I stopped and I thought, yeah, I'm going to have fun doing that repair. But it actually made me think about my whole career. I mean, when you have fun doing something, you enjoy it, you put your love, your heart into it. And that's what life is about, you know, making every moment special. And him kind of reminding me like that, I almost think it's going to change my career a little bit. I really love working with people who are passionate, and I love, you know, I always have fun with the instruments. I love interesting instruments. But yeah, that one blew me away totally. That's looking good. Next I've got to give this viola a bit of a clean. Starting to look a bit better. Alrighty, so I've cleaned this instrument. I'm going to do a little bit of gluing. I just found a little open spot just on the back here. So I'm just putting a bit of glue inside this open spot here. Put on the clamp. wash the glue away. Fabulous. Now I'm going to hang that up. I think that's it for that one for today. So it's been a couple of hours. I got super carried away and planed more than one fingerboard. So I thought I may as well plane the fingerboard on my new violin. I think that's really important because it'll get me further to my goal of finishing it, because I'm really excited about hearing the first tones. So I'm going to do that as well. Here we go. The varnish is touch dry now, so I don't have to worry about ebony dust getting onto it. Now on this fingerboard, because it's brand new, I'll also be very carefully working with my template, my fingerboard template. The whole neck height of my instrument is actually 1 millimeter too high, because brand new instruments tend to, as the instrument, as you put the strings on for the first time, a brand new instrument quite often will just settle in a little bit. So the neck will just come down just 1 millimeter quite quickly early on. So I just really want to make sure that this instrument, like that the neck height on this instrument stays good for a really long time. Whew, getting close to getting finished. It is so exciting making your own instrument. It is, this one's going to be for sale when it's finished. It's going to be a bit over 30,000, I think 32,000 Australian dollars. So what's that make it? Maybe 26,000 US dollars. So that's actually very good for a master-made instrument. The great thing these days, of course, is that, once upon a time a geographic location would actually make a difference to the quality of an instrument. But these days we've got really fine makers, violin makers all over the world. You've got some great guys in the US, there's great makers here in Australia, there are good makers all throughout Europe and kind of scattered throughout the rest of the world. So this is coming up for sale very soon, this violin. So it's going to have a powerful tone. So that's what I went for with this model. It's a performance instrument, so it's one that's it's going to sound good and it'll have some nice carrying capacity. But next, I think I might have a little chat with my dad. I always like to call my dad, not always, but every now and then like to call my dad, see how he's going, what projects he's up to. He's still making instruments even though he's in his mid-80s, and I still learn a lot from him. We discuss a lot of things, a lot of ideas. We kind of grow from each other, which I really like. The good thing about having a violin making family, lots of good chats about violins. So I'm just going to give my dad a quick call.
Moin.
Moin, wie geht?
Gut.
Super.
Hast du gerade angerufen?
Ja, habe ich. Und du hast mich zurückgerufen. Das ist super. Geht's dir gut? Oder?
Ja, also.
Ja, okay. Bis dann. Jo, tschüss. Anyway, I just had a bit of a chat with my dad, and while I was doing that, I've been working on fitting the bridge to the Hofmeister violin. So if I fitted the bridge feet, you've seen me do that. So I am going to keep making this bridge. It's always fun talking to my dad. Like, he's in his mid-80s. He still goes on like big 10, 15 kilometer walks quite often. And, if I can be as fit as him in my 80s, I'll be super amazed. I am just this far with the bridge. I'm going to have to do a little break, take a little break, because I have this violin here, which needs, there's a tiny hairline crack just up in here, which needs repairing. I'm using a really runny glue, so the capillary action will suck it right up all the way up to the top edges and bottom edges of the crack. Okay, just gluing the nut on at the same time, and that can just dry now. All right. I think it's just about time for lunch. Whew. Such a gorgeous day out. To the Violinmobile. really do live in a beautiful city. I'm very lucky. It's just so beautiful. Check out these jacaranda trees. Okay, I'm getting close. Okay, we've come for a quiet lunch, but there seems to be a protest going on across the street. Nothing quite like a single origin. Alright, heading back to work, had a nice lunch, had some nice coffee. Here's one of my favourite, I'm riding through South Bank. Check this out. It's a little friend of mine. This place is pretty amazing. So I'm actually really close to the Conservatorium, Queensland Conservatorium, and the whole art precinct, you know, where our performing arts complex is. It's actually one of the biggest, will be one of the biggest performing arts complexes in Australia. We've also got our art galleries and things like that here, so it's a really nice area. And with us hosting the 2032 Olympic Games, there's a whole heap of funding going into the city. You can see they're just building a new bridge across the river behind me. There's a few storms around, so not that many people in the water, which is probably the smart thing to do. Alright, the time's come to actually head back to work. Alright, I'm back from lunch. So now it's time to get into it. Ooh, okay, so I've got 2 clients coming up in a minute. Hey, how you going? Good. Come on in, you can pop your violin just over there if you like. Well, that's done. Now, I was going to do some work on the cello. I was going to do some work on the double bass. And I was going to finish the Hofmeister. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm actually going to bring this into a second day, because I want to finish up now. I've got a date night with Coralie, so I think I'm going to finish for tonight, and I will show you a little bit more of what I'm going to do tomorrow. And that way I don't have to get stressed about stuff I haven't finished and things like that. I'm very well on track with all the repairs I'm currently doing, so that's kind of perfect. And yeah, you can see more what I'm doing tomorrow. Okay, day 2. So I've decided to go over 2 days. Originally I was just going to do 1 day at my workshop, but I'm so halfway through a lot of jobs, so I just wanted to, you know, wanted to show you the end. It's just a bit more interesting than leaving you with like all these half-finished instruments. So the instruments I'm going to be working on today is going to be my violin, the one that I made. I'm going to work on the Hofmeister, and I'm going to work on the viola. So the Hofmeister I'll definitely get finished. My instrument I'll get close. So I don't think I'll quite finish it, but I hope so, because my goal really was to finish it this week. The viola I'll just get further, like it has to be finished next week. So today is Friday, and on a Friday, I don't usually have any clients. So Friday is my client-free day. I've got 2 of those, like Tuesdays and Fridays. And the reason I do that is so that I can just really focus on my work. And Friday is actually my new making day usually, and that's why I want to get a lot further on my instrument, hopefully getting it finished. And then I'll be starting a new instrument soon, which I'm going to share in a video series. Okay, so one really important thing that I need to do is sharpen my tools. So sharp tools are super important in my work. Now my knife is sharp, so back to the bridge. So this is the bridge I started yesterday. I just got too busy, couldn't finish it. Okay, so that's a nice bridge. That's gonna go onto the Hofmeister violin. Okay, so I'm gonna try that out in the shop. Wow, that's actually really amazing. I'm not gonna have to do much tweaking. And anyway, back to the workshop. Next repair. So I've given this instrument a good clean. That's the viola I was working on. So I'm just gonna do some, just a bit of clear varnish on some of these cracks. That's it for now. It's just got to dry, so I'm gonna hang it back up. Okay, now by hand. Okay, I'm just fitting the pegs to my violin. So exciting. And of course I have to put in the end pin as well. There we go. One peg to go. So I found one of these bridges. It's literally been seasoned since, well, I've written 85 on it, but I'm quite certain it was actually before that. So we're talking at least 35 years. Isn't it crazy? I got that bridge the year I started violin making. Anyway, that's exciting. I'm pretty sure they were at least 2 years old when I got it. So we're nearly talking 38 years. So that's pretty good. Okay, so I got my... It's such a beautiful bridge, actually. You can see the really fine grain on it. It's going to sound absolutely fabulous on my violin. My violin's nearly finished, but the problem I have is that I only glued the nut on a little while ago, so I've got to let it dry a little bit longer, which is really frustrating because I'm super impatient. I just want to hear it, like, I just want to play it. So I'm going to have to wait till after lunch. But after lunch, there's nothing holding me back. I'm going to power ahead and get this finished. Anyway, for now, I'm going to hang my violin up. Worked on the viola. I do have, so I'm going to do a little bit of work on a cello, and I have to make a bridge. So yesterday a client came in, you would have seen him, and the bridge that was on it, so someone talked him into changing the bridge, but the problem was that the new bridge they put on actually made the instrument sound a lot worse. So I'm going to put a new bridge on it. I also raised the neck action very slightly, just to get everything right. So I'm just working on the new and improved bridge for that client from yesterday. That is going to sound a whole heap better. I'm just waiting on finding out whether he'd like me to go ahead with a fingerboard. But as soon as I get this finished, I'm actually going to head out. I really need some lunch. Okay, it's lunchtime. I really need some food. I'm gonna go to one of my favorite cafes in the city. Believe it or not, I occasionally meet the two set guys there, which is good. Anyway, let's go. Okay, I just got back from lunch, and now we've got some people coming over soon, so because it's Friday. I usually finish early, but I'm going to get my violin finished. You know, it's going to happen because I'm way too excited about it. So I'm going to do the, like, lower down the nut and just do all those adjustments. And I've got to just do a final fit of the pegs. and then tailpiece, got to sort that out, and then I'm literally going to put on the strings, and I can't wait. Now I just got to refit the pegs and put peg paste on, and then we're good to go. Peg paste. Alright, I'm ready for strings, people. Now I am going to do more work on the instrument. I'm going to put the strings on, play it for a while, and then I'm going to do more finishing work on the instrument. There's a bit of varnish work left to do, and just little finishing bits and pieces but I'm way too excited just to finish everything and then put the strings on. It's the best feeling, finishing your own violin. Just adjusting the sound post, making sure that's all where it should be. Alright, I'm going to take it next door into my shop to try out now. This is exciting. Oh my god, that's amazing. That sounds so good. The first notes from my violin. It's taken me a really long time because I've been quite busy with repairs and setting up and things like that. I'm having too much fun with my violin. Isn't it beautiful? I love the one piece back. It's a really beautiful grain. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching a day with me. Didn't get everything done I wanted to get done, but that happens. I didn't have any deadlines, so that's alright. If you like my video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and also there's a little bell. It's worth clicking the little bell so you get notifications every time I post another video. And yeah, I should probably go.